New developments involving the man who says voices told him to attack a Grossmont College student inside a garage on campus. Today, Anthony Washington learned that he will be going to prison. 10 News reporter Allison Ash is joining us, and Allison, Washington says that he was after sex.
Yeah, and he might have gotten it if it hadn't been for another man who happened to be at the right place at the right time. Well, here in court today, Anthony Washington learned he'll get 10 years for the crime that he says he was told to do by the voices inside his head.
And I was hearing voices to do bad things to girls, to go get sex.
That was Anthony Washington just days after his arrest for the brazen, broad daylight attack of a Grossmont College student. It happened in a parking garage.
The defendant then straddled the victim. When she screamed, the defendant covered her mouth and put his knife up to her neck.
She would have been raped if it hadn't been for fellow student Javier Partida, who testified in the preliminary hearing.
Her legs were spread out under him. I started honking my horn until I got a reaction.
Washington sat quietly in court as the deputy district attorney repeated the evidence against him. The victim, who earlier testified against Washington, was not in court for his sentencing, but the deputy district attorney read her statement.
What happened to me was so scary, I would not want it to happen to anybody else. As long as he gets what he deserves, I will be in peace.
The judge gave Washington 10 years of a possible 16-year sentence. The fact that he planned the rape was key.
The defendant went there with a purpose in mind to find someone to have sex with and singled out 2 other victims before he picked out this victim.
Washington's sentence could be extended once he learns his punishment for a series of assaults on deputies at the jail. Washington, who told us he suffers from schizophrenia, showed no emotion. And Washington has already pleaded guilty in those jailhouse assaults, so one of which involves something called gassing, which means throwing bodily fluids onto somebody else, that being a deputy. He will be sentenced for those attacks early next month. We're live in El Cajon. Allison Ash, 10 News.
All right.